Hey there everybody, and today I want to talk about us all being on the same team. Hey there everyone, my name's Dave, aka Mindset by Dave, and I have been a mindset and mental health coach for the last 4 years, but I have lived with, don't know why I'm looking at my watch, my own mental health for, well, since a diagnosis 24 years ago. So when I talk about mindset and mental health, I come at it from both a personal and a professional angle. And that's going to be one of the main things that is important to remember as we go into this video. Now, before we get stuck into the main content, I just want to remind you that I stream every Sunday from 7 PM till 10 PM on twitch.tv/mindsetbydave, and also every Tuesday from 10 AM till 4 PM. The aim of that channel being long term, so I don't get to play any games, and we actually sit around and do a drop-in mental health and mindset chat pretty much all day. Anyway, on with the content. Now, today's topic is about one of the biggest problems I see within the mental health industry, and that's that there is this huge divide between those who suffer and struggle and those who empathise with those who suffer and struggle, and people who've never really experienced it and think that it's all in your head, you just need to get on with it, stop making such a big deal, all that type of stuff. Now, the reason this is a problem is not because these two sides exist, but because these two sides fight and war at each other, and each one of those sides blames the other side for the reason that the problems they've got. So, for example, the mental health community, often if someone's being too harsh and expecting too much change from this side, we label them as being uncompassionate, and we say that the world isn't compassionate enough for us, and therefore that's where our problems come from. Meanwhile, the people on that side of it are saying, well, actually, you're just not trying hard enough, you're not doing enough, you're not taking enough ownership of what you are doing and the way you are. You need to actually just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get on it like we do. Now, the thing is, both of these things, there's truth in both of them. This is the important thing to remember. There is absolute truth in both of them, but it's understanding how talking about those things is going to relate to the person on the opposite side. The person on this side's probably just always just got on with life, and therefore it's just been what they do. They've never had any experience of mental health. They therefore attribute their success, they attribute their positive mental health to the work that they've done. Whereas the person on this side of the aisle has tried hard at things throughout the course of their life, struggled with certain things, has struggled with things because of their mental health, and has then struggled because they're struggling with things, worsen the mental health, and the whole thing's this big vicious cycle that you're often too exhausted to do an extra bit of work to do. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I believe that the answer is not 100% embracing what the other side's saying, but instead of us spending all this time arguing over whose responsibility it is to help with mental health, whether if you're someone who suffers and struggles, you think it's the world's responsibility or the government's responsibility or other people's responsibility to be more kind, versus the person who doesn't struggle, who thinks it's your responsibility that you should just do all of the work. Instead of having this argument and spending so much time and so much energy having this argument, I think what needs to be done is for us to actually say, you know what, we're all responsible. Every single one of us, we are all responsible for the improved mental health of our species. The end. That's it. We're all responsible. If I'm doing what I can to improve my mental health, and I'm also doing what I can to improve the mental health of those people around me, then I'm doing my part in the responsibility. I'm not waiting around for somebody else to change it. It was one of the big things that I wanted. Now, the reason I said at the beginning of this video that me coming at this from an angle where I have struggled and suffered with my own mental health is important to remember. I remember 4 or 5 years ago lying on my couch in tears for weeks at an end, just sobbing that no one was coming to save me. And the thing was, nobody did. Nobody turned up at my door to help me out in that situation. The person that needed to save me in that moment was me. I needed to show up, I needed to be accountable for myself, and I needed to do things. Now, that's hard to admit. And I'm not saying that you just need to constantly work harder, do more. What I'm saying is that when you're in that position, you're already struggling, you're already fighting. But yeah, I'm asking you to go one step further. I'm asking you to do a little bit more. I'm asking you, instead of waiting around for someone on that side to come, I'm asking you to say, what could I do that maybe makes myself even just 1% better, that gets me 1% closer? You know, it gets thrown around a lot in mental health that happiness is a choice. And I had a great conversation with a guy called Josh Connolly about this. And the conclusion we came to is we can't choose to be happy, but we can choose to invest in the things that might make us happy in the future. And that's the whole thing when you're suffering with your mental health. It's not about putting in for something that gives you an immediate result. It's about putting in for something, actually going that one step further. Yes, moving one step further when you're already feeling tired and exhausted. And actually investing in that thing that might make you happy. And to the people on the opposite side of the aisle, more compassion. You know, like basically, yes, people on my side, the people who struggle, we do need to work harder. But you know what? We could do that so much better with more support. Where we get that support, rather than you saying it's all our responsibility, and rather than us saying it's all your responsibility, not them and us, all of us. This situation, the only way we're ever going to solve this is if we come together, if we find the common ground, if we stop acting like a divided species and we actually work together on this, if we all take responsibility. If you say, what can I do to help? What can I do to help myself? What can I do to help others? If everyone says that, rather than saying, well, it's their responsibility, or it's the government's responsibility, or the person should just look after themselves, or that person's not doing enough for themselves, so why should I bother? If we stop all of that and we just think, what can I do? We'll get one step closer. I'm going to say it one more time, not them and us, but all of us. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you've got something out of it, and I hope that it's going to bring you a little bit closer together, regardless of which side of those aisles you stand on. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button so that you'll get notifications whenever new ones go live. And remember, you can catch me live on Twitch every Sunday from 7 till 10 PM and every Tuesday from 10 AM till 4 PM, where we can talk about this, mindset, mental health, all the different things that comprise of this, and hopefully become more of an us. See you soon.